When 6-year-old Emily Carter rolled onto the stage of America's Stars of Tomorrow, the audience didn't quite know what to expect. She was tiny, pale, completely bald. Her little hands gripped the sides of her wheelchair, her hospital bracelet still on her wrist. One of the judges leaned over and whispered, "She's probably here for a feel-good moment." Another nodded, expecting something sweet but forgettable. But then the music started. Emily held the mic with trembling fingers and closed her eyes. Her voice cracked on the first note. For a second, it looked like she might stop. Then something happened. She lifted her head. And what came out wasn't just singing. It was a goodbye. The crowd leaned in as her voice, clear and aching, filled the air. Every lyric told a story of pain, of love, of loss, and of faith. She sang about Jesus holding her hand, about her mama waiting at heaven's gate, and how this might be her last song. No dry eyes remained. The camera zoomed in on the judges. One had her hand over her mouth. Another just stared, eyes wide and wet. The host backstage wiped tears as she whispered, "Oh my God." The final note rang out like a prayer. And for a long second no one clapped, not because they didn't want to, but because no one could move. Then a single person stood. Then another. Then all. A thunderstorm of applause roared through the hall. Emily's father, Mr. Carter, stood in shock. He hadn't seen his daughter shine like this in months. Her eyes glowed. Her cheeks were full of color. She looked alive, truly alive. And then she smiled. Not the tired, weak smile from the hospital. This was a smile full of strength, full of joy, full of life. Nobody there knew what would happen next, but in their hearts they believed something holy had happened. And for the first time in a long time, so did Mr. Carter. Because that night they didn't just see a little girl sing, they witnessed a miracle. Before we continue Emily's incredible story, if you believe faith can move mountains, and that even the smallest voice can carry the loudest hope, please like and subscribe to help us keep sharing stories that lift the soul. Now let's return to the night a 6-year-old girl in a wheelchair sang her goodbye. And the world witnessed a miracle no doctor could explain. Emily Carter used to sing every morning, songs from cartoons, lullabies, even commercials. She sang everything. Her voice was sweet like honey, always echoing through their small Ohio apartment. Her mom called her "my sunshine" with a soundtrack. But that was before everything changed. Emily was only 3 when her mom got sick. At first, it was just tiredness. Then came the doctor visits, then the hair loss, then the hospital bed in the living room. Emily remembered sitting beside it, too small to understand. One day, her mom held her hand and whispered, "Don't forget our songs." 2 days later, she was gone. Emily didn't sing after that. Her dad, Mr. Carter, tried to keep things normal. He packed her school lunches, braided her hair, and tucked her in with bedtime stories. But the music in their home was gone. Just silence and the sound of trying. Then 3 months ago, it happened again. Emily started getting tired. She had bruises on her arms and legs. She'd fall asleep in class. One morning her nose wouldn't stop bleeding. Her dad rushed her to the hospital. The tests came back. Leukemia, late stage. Her dad broke down right in front of her. She had never seen him cry like that, not even when her mum passed. But Emily didn't cry. She just asked, "Is it the same kind Mommy had?" The doctor nodded. They gave her 3 months, maybe less. The treatment started. Her hair fell out, her legs weakened. Soon she couldn't walk. Her wheelchair became her new legs. Her dad bought her a blanket with sunflowers, her favorite flower. Most days she just stared out the window, quiet, pale, tired. Then one rainy afternoon she found it. A notebook, tucked between old piano books in a dusty drawer. It had her mom's handwriting, lyrics unfinished, a song with Emily's name in it. She held it like a treasure. Something cracked open inside her chest. That night, for the first time in years, she sang. That night, Emily sat by the window in her wheelchair, holding her mother's notebook. The lyrics were smudged in some places, faded in others, but still readable. At the top, in soft blue ink, it read, "For Emily, My little bird. She opened her mouth and tried to sing the first line. Her voice cracked. It sounded small and broken. She stopped. Her eyes burned with tears. But then she looked at the last page. There, in shaky letters, was a message. Finish this with your voice if I can't. Emily wiped her tears and sang again. This time she didn't stop. Her voice was raw, but it was hers. And as she sang, something warm rose in her chest. Not in her body, which still ached, but in her heart. It felt like her mum was there, sitting next to her, just like before. From the kitchen, Mr. Carter heard the singing. He dropped the dish he was washing. He hadn't heard her sing in 3 years. He walked to the door and leaned against the frame, watching her through silent tears. She was singing her mum's unfinished song, off-key at times, but pure. When she finished, she looked at him. Did I sound like her? He nodded. Exactly like her. From that night on, Emily sang every day, in the morning, before treatment. Even when she was too weak to sit up, she'd hum. Her dad started recording her on his phone. The nurses would sometimes stand at the door just to listen. One of them posted a video online. It didn't get much attention at first. Then one day, a woman from a talent show called. I heard your daughter's voice, she said. We want her on Stars of Tomorrow. Mr. Carter hesitated. She's very sick. The woman answered gently, maybe that's why the world needs to hear her. The letter came 2 weeks before the taping. Emily Carter was officially invited to perform at Stars of Tomorrow. The envelope was gold and shiny, like something from a fairy tale. Mr. Carter read it out loud, then looked at his daughter. You really want to do this? Emily smiled, weak but sure. For Mom and for me. She didn't have much strength. Most days her arms felt like noodles. Her legs hadn't moved in weeks. Her skin was pale, and her eyebrows had thinned out. But inside, something had come back to life. Her voice. She chose to sing the finished version of her mom's song. She rewrote some verses, added a few lines about her own journey. Mr. Carter helped shape the melody. At night, they practiced. She'd sit in her chair, singing softly while he played on a tiny keyboard. Then came the dress. Her dad took her to a small boutique. We Need Sit was soft pink with lace at the sleeves, simple, pretty, the kind of dress her mom would have chosen. Emily touched the fabric and anything special, he told the shop owner. She's going to be on TV. The lady looked down at Emily and smiled gently. I think I have just the thing. Whispered, can I wear Mom's necklace too? Mr. Carter nodded. She'd be proud. The night before the show, Emily couldn't sleep. She stared at the ceiling, her body hurting but her heart full. Dad, she said softly, do you think I'll see her? He didn't ask who. He just walked over, kissed her forehead and said, she's already watching. Emily closed her eyes and made a promise in the dark. I will sing like it's the last thing I ever do. The day of the show arrived with grey clouds and cold air. Mr. Carter wrapped Emily in her sunflower blanket, carefully placed the heart-shaped necklace around her neck, and kissed her bald head. You ready, superstar? Emily smiled. I'm not scared, I just want to sing. Backstage at Stars of Tomorrow, everything was bigger than Emily imagined. Bright lights, fast-moving people with clipboards, giant cameras, and nervous performers warming up their voices. Emily sat quietly in her wheelchair, holding her sheet of lyrics. Other contestants stared. Some whispered. One boy even asked, is she really performing? A woman in a headset waved him away. Leave her alone. She's got more courage than all of us. The judges were seated, the crowd buzzing. Then came her name. Next up, 6-year-old Emily Carter from Columbus, Ohio. The room went quiet. Emily's small hands gripped her wheels. Her dad gave her a thumbs up, tears already in his eyes. A crew member helped push her to the center of the stage. And then the spotlight. It landed right on her, lighting up her dress, her pale face, and the silver necklace that sparkled just slightly. She looked out at the crowd, blinking at the brightness. The mic was already lowered for her height. She took a deep breath. In the front row, a judge leaned over and whispered, this might be too much for her. But Emily raised the mic. The music started. Her voice came soft but sure. Jesus, sing me home through the dark and fire. The first verse floated through the auditorium like wind through a chapel. The crowd leaned in. No phones clicked, no coughs or shuffles, just stillness. Emily closed her eyes. Her mom's lyrics guided her. She hit the chorus, and a woman in the crowd gasped aloud. Backstage, her father wiped his cheeks. The camera zoomed in. A tear rolled down the face of one of the judges. Emily wasn't just singing a song, she was singing goodbye. As Emily moved into the second verse, her voice grew stronger. It wasn't loud, it didn't need to be. It was clear, steady, and full of something no training could teach. Faith. The words fell like prayers from her lips. I've lost my hair, I've lost my sleep, but not my soul, not what I keep. The entire auditorium held its breath. A mother in the front row reached for her child's hand. A stagehand dropped his clipboard. One of the judges, the harshest one known for never crying, covered her mouth. Emily kept singing. She didn't see the lights shifting behind her, casting a soft glow like morning sun. She didn't hear the sniffles or the gentle sobs rising from the audience. She just followed the words her mum left for her, and the ones she added herself. If I fall, I'll fall into your grace, to heaven's gate where Mama waits. On the last note, Emily's hands trembled. Her voice cracked just slightly, but she pushed through it, and when the music stopped, silence. Some people were crying openly, others were hugging strangers. A cameraman turned his lens away, wiping his own face. The judges didn't even try to speak. One simply stood and pressed both hands over her heart. Backstage, Mr. Carter was sobbing. Emily lowered the mic slowly. She looked out at the crowd, confused at first, then smiled, a soft, tired smile. She raised her hand in a small wave. Then her head dipped, and she whispered barely audible, "Thank you, Jesus." And at that very moment, something strange happened. She felt something, a warmth rising from her toes to her chest. Not burning, not painful, just light, like someone had placed a candle inside her. Emily didn't understand it. But somewhere deep inside she knew something had changed. After the show, the producers asked Emily and her dad to stay behind for interviews, but the little girl looked tired. Her face was pale again. Her hands were cold. Mr. Carter gently placed her blanket over her legs. "Can we do this another day?" The producers agreed. One of them knelt beside Emily and whispered, "You didn't just sing, you changed the room." Emily gave a sleepy smile. "I just wanted Mom to hear it." Back at the hotel, Emily was quiet. She didn't eat, she didn't talk much, but she didn't seem sick either, just still. That night, her dad tucked her into bed and sat beside her for a long time, just watching her breathe. He prayed softly, holding her hand. "God, if this is the end, thank you for letting her shine one last time." But it wasn't the end. The next morning, Emily woke up early. "Daddy," she said, "my legs feel tingly." He turned sharply. "What do you mean?" "They feel warm, like something's dancing in them." He lifted the blanket. Her legs looked the same, but when he gently pressed her feet, she flinched. "You felt that?" he asked, wide-eyed. She nodded. "All of it." He called the doctor. Tests were run, blood was drawn, scans repeated. The doctor frowned, confused. "Her white cells are stabilizing. That shouldn't be possible." Another test, then another. The next day the results were clear. The cancer was shrinking. It made no sense. Every medical chart, every scan before the show said there was no time left. But the new charts told a different story. Mr. Carter sat in the hallway, speechless. The doctor finally said, "I don't know what happened on that stage, but something did." Emily just whispered, "Maybe Jesus heard me." The news spread like wildfire. Local news stations replayed the clip of Emily's performance. Social media flooded with comments. "I've never cried this hard. That little girl is heaven's voice." I don't even believe in miracles, but now I'm not sure. But what stunned the world more than her song was what came next. The hospital released a statement. Signs of rapid remission following a terminal diagnosis, still under observation. Unexplained, but hopeful. They didn't use the word miracle, but everyone else did. Emily's story was picked up by national TV. Talk shows, church groups, celebrities. Even a famous gospel singer tweeted, "Jesus really sang her home and sent her back stronger." Back at home in Ohio, neighbors came by with flowers, cards, even teddy bears. Emily smiled as best she could, still recovering, but brighter each day. Her legs, once numb, began to twitch. Her appetite returned. Her voice, already beautiful, somehow grew stronger. Then the show called again. They were planning a reunion special, just a small moment to celebrate her performance. "If she's strong enough," they said, "would she come sing again?" Emily looked at her dad. "Can I?" He hesitated. "Are you sure, sweetheart?" She nodded. "I want them to know Jesus listens." 2 weeks later she returned. This time the wheelchair stayed backstage. Emily walked, slowly, carefully onto the stage, holding her father's hand. The audience rose instantly, thunderous applause, the same judges, the same lights. But this time it wasn't a goodbye. It was a celebration. She sang the same song, but this time her voice soared higher, brighter, stronger. She even added a new verse at the end. "If I'm still here, I'll sing your grace to every heart in every place." The final note hung in the air, and the room once again stood still. After the reunion show aired, everything changed again, but this time, not just for Emily. Letters began arriving at their doorstep. Hundreds of them, some from other sick children, some from grieving parents, some from strangers who had lost faith until they heard her sing. One envelope had no name, just 4 words written on the back. "Your voice saved me." Emily's dad read every letter out loud. Some made them cry, others made them laugh. One little girl in Texas wrote, "I have cancer too, but I'm not scared now. I sing like you." The hospital invited Emily back, not for treatment, but to visit the children's ward. She wore a yellow dress this time with sunflowers. No IVs, no wheelchair, just a warm smile and a folder of songs. She sang in the rooms of kids who couldn't leave their beds. She sang in the hallway for tired nurses. She even sang for a little boy who hadn't spoken in days. When she finished, he whispered, "Can you sing one more?" Her story was turned into a short documentary. She was interviewed on TV. A radio host called her the girl who made angels pause. But Emily didn't care about fame. She only wanted one thing, to help people feel loved. At church, she sang with the choir. At school, she hummed during art class. Her dad said the music was filling all the empty spaces that grief had left behind. One night, Emily stood on the porch, looking at the stars. "Do you think Mom saw me?" she asked. Mr. Carter hugged her tight. "I think she never looked away." Emily smiled. "Then I'll keep singing, because someone out there might be hurting, and maybe my song can help." 1 year later, on the exact day she had first sung on that stage, Emily stood again, this time in a park full of people. A small wooden stage had been set up. There were string lights above, sunflowers on every corner, and a banner that read, "Sing Me Home, a celebration of hope." She was now 7. Her hair had started to grow back in soft curls. Her cheeks were fuller, and her legs no longer needed help to stand. Doctors still checked on her every few months, but each visit ended with the same phrase, "Still clear." No one could explain it, not fully. Some said it was a rare reversal, some called it luck, but Emily and her dad knew better. It was a miracle. That night in the park, as the sun began to set, Emily stepped up to the mic. The crowd went quiet, just like before. Mr. Carter stood at the edge of the stage, holding his phone, tears already forming. She spoke first. "Last year I thought I was saying goodbye. I was scared. I missed my mom. I didn't think I'd ever sing again, but God gave me another song." She looked out at the sea of faces, some with tears, others with hands over hearts. "This song is for everyone who's ever been told they wouldn't make it. For anyone who's sitting in a hospital bed. For anyone who's lost someone and doesn't know how to breathe again." Then she sang. Same lyrics, same melody, but now they rang with new power, not a goodbye, but a thank you, a victory. "Jesus, sing me home through the dark and fire. Lift me in your arms, take me higher." By the final verse, the whole crowd was standing, hands raised, voices lifted. Some sang with her, some wept, all believed. When the music faded, Emily smiled. "I'm still your little bird, Mama. I'm still singing. And as long as she lives, her song will never stop." The end. If this story touched you, feel free to hit the like button and subscribe for more heartfelt tales.